Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive right into it. We're looking at how AI is shifting from a passive tool, the thing that just answers our questions or drafts our emails, into a highly active, totally capable decision maker in modern business. We are literally standing at the edge of this massive transformation where artificial intelligence is taking the steering wheel in ways we've just never seen before.
To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this shift, just consider this staggering number, 2.5 million. That is how many times Amazon changes its product prices every single day. I mean, the digital marketplace operates at a velocity that completely shatters the limits of human capability. We simply can't process that much information or react to market changes fast enough manually. It's just impossible.
And right in the middle of all this overwhelming data velocity, human decision-making is actually faltering. Look at this stat. A massive 85% of business leaders actually regret or question the decisions they make. The sheer volume of data, mixed with this underlying lack of trust in that data, is basically leading to decision paralysis. Leaders are out there actively looking for a lifeline.
Which brings us to a massive paradigm shift, and really the central question of today's explainer. What happens when we hand that steering wheel over to a silicon-based workforce? We aren't just asking AI to crunch numbers anymore, we're empowering it to make the call. So how does that fundamentally change commerce, and maybe more importantly, how do we manage it? That brings us to Section 1, the rise of agentic AI.
The leap we're taking here is absolutely massive. Traditional, rule-based AI is pretty rigid, right? It follows static instructions. If inventory drops below 10, raise the price by 5%. But agentic AI, it acts autonomously based on context and broader goals. It doesn't just follow a script. It actually evaluates its options, considers the current environment, and acts with proactive intent to achieve a specific business outcome.
Let's put that into perspective. Imagine a sudden, totally unexpected weather event causes a massive local demand surge for umbrellas. Agent AI detects this instantly, and without a human ever pressing a single button, it autonomously reallocates inventory to that specific region. It triggers localized promotions to capture the market and dynamically updates the ad creative to match the weather. It can do all of this seamlessly, which completely frees up human workers to focus on high-level innovation rather than getting bogged down in all those complex administrative tasks.
Moving on to Section 2, dynamic pricing in e-commerce.
Now, what's really interesting here is that the absolute crux of dynamic pricing is mastering price elasticity. The AI engine builds a deeply complex demand profile for every single product based on this concept. It's constantly measuring how price sensitivity impacts customer behavior. By doing this, the AI treats pricing like a continuous, real-time experiment, finding that exact perfect sweet spot where market demand meets value, maximizing your sales and your profit margins.
To pull this off accurately, the AI has to ingest 3 massive streams of data simultaneously. First up, you've got internal data, things like historical sales and current inventory. Second, competitor data, and we're not just talking about their prices, but their shipping costs and stock levels too. Finally, broader market data, like seasonal trends or economic indicators. The machine weighs all these variables across tens of thousands of products in literally milliseconds. It's a feat a human could never, ever achieve.
All of this data builds into an actual strategy using what's called an AI competitive response module. Relying on advanced game theory, the algorithm decides its next move. It might automatically match a price, or it might beat a competitor by just 1 single cent to win the algorithm war. Or, and this is brilliant, it might choose to completely ignore a competitor who has a lower price but happens to be out of stock or has terrible shipping times. The AI knows that blindly dropping prices just destroys profit margins for everyone, so it actually plays the game intelligently.
But hey, we can't just let the machine run wild, right? A crucial point here is the implementation of min-max guardrails. We absolutely have to set absolute floor prices so we never sell at a loss, and absolute ceiling prices so we don't end up with absurd price spikes. AI needs these firm boundaries to prevent algorithmic warfare, that dreaded race to the bottom, and to make sure customers don't experience unfair sticker shock that completely ruins brand trust.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, the proactive customer experience.
So beyond just pricing, AI totally flips the traditional support model upside down. Instead of waiting around for an angry phone call from a frustrated customer, AI agents monitor signals to proactively resolve issues. They analyze intent and sentiment in real time.
For example, they might spot a billing discrepancy and autonomously trigger a correction, notifying the customer that the problem was fixed before the customer even realized there was a problem. It's a total shift from reactive damage control to proactive, predictive care.
And the business case for this is just undeniable. The financial impact is immense. We're seeing conversational AI drive an average 23.5% reduction in the cost per customer contact. When you automate those routine, high-volume issues, those savings drop directly to your bottom line, all while actually improving the customer's overall experience. It's a total win-win.
Now, this doesn't mean humans are entirely out of the picture. Not at all. Welcome to the modern workflow. Generative AI acting as an agent co-pilot. While the AI handles all the heavy data lifting, summarizing past interactions, pulling up account histories, and suggesting sentiment-aware responses in real time, it's ultimately empowering the human agent. The human can finally stop acting like a glorified search engine and start focusing entirely on empathy, judgment, and really complex problem-solving.
Which leads us right to our final section. Section 4, the human-machine partnership. To avoid catastrophic algorithmic mistakes, organizations have to adopt strict decision frameworks. Take the one-way versus two-way door concept. If a decision is easily reversible, a two-way door, like testing a slight price change, it's prime for autonomous AI action. But if it's a one-way door, meaning an irreversible high-stakes move, it absolutely requires high human scrutiny. And in chaotic situations, following the Sinifin framework, where cause and effect are just entirely unclear, humans must step in to stabilize the environment before an AI can be trusted to act. Because let's face it, AI models can hallucinate, learn biases, or just accidentally optimize for the wrong metric. So modern leaders have to maintain strict decision integrity. This means making your decision strategies explicit and implementing dynamic decision rights that can actually adapt as conditions shift. It requires establishing clear AI governance boards, deploying specialized guardian agents whose literally only job is to audit the output of other AIs, and actively training human managers to supervise their new silicon employees.
The ultimate philosophy we need to adopt moving forward is this. The real question isn't what does the model say, it's who gets to disagree with it and how fast. I think this quote perfectly captures the essence of this new era. As we delegate more and more to AI, humans have to remain on the loop. We have to engineer systems where human agency is preserved, retaining that ultimate authority to question, challenge, and override the machine whenever it's necessary.
Which brings us to the end of today's explainer, and I want to leave you with this vital question to ponder. How much of your own daily judgment are you prepared to hand over to an algorithm? As AI rapidly transitions from just a helpful tool into a highly autonomous decider, your answer to that question is really going to determine how you adapt, lead, and survive the future of commerce. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.